Look, Annabelle ain't some haunted Raggedy Ann doll. No, she was locked behind consecrated glass and received weekly blessings from a Catholic priest. Because here's the thing, the Warrens were extremely tight with Catholic priests because they themselves were devout Catholics. So when they came across Annabelle in the 1970s and said, oh no, that ain't no spirit, that's a demon. Apparently she was too dangerous to be destroyed and too risky to be left alone. So they sealed her in a blessed wooden box with sacred glass on front of it with a note that says, do not open. All of these follow Catholic guidelines for what to do when you have a possessed object. Because yes, the Vatican, the Catholic Church, believe in possessed objects. In the eyes of the church, items can be possessed or spiritually infected, and that's why they have these protocols set in place that include blessings, barriers, and isolation, all included on Annabelle. So you see, the church did not cleanse Annabelle at all. No, she's just locked down spiritually, or well, she was. Now she's on tour like Tay Swift. Don't get it twisted, she's spiritually unstable. That's why we got prisoners breaking out, fires breaking out, car crashes happening, because look, one priest offended Annabelle when he told her she didn't have any power or some shit like that. On his ride home, his brakes locked up and he got into a car crash, and yes, he no longer with us. Some people believe that in 2019, after Lorraine Warren passed away, the Vatican tried to relocate Annabelle but had no success. Others say that they are just watching out for her. But one thing is clear, no priest will lay hands on Annabelle. They will bless her from a distance with some water, but they don't touch that bit. And since we're taking these items out on road trips now, you should know Annabelle is not the only one that the Vatican is watching. There's like 4 or 5 other items that they got their eyes on just in case they decide to do some weird spiritual shit. It's just an old wine cabinet, right? And I ain't never met no wine cabinet I didn't immediately vibe with. But the Dybbuk box is a little bit different because it comes with curses, demons, and the Vatican won't even touch it. What the hell is a Dybbuk? A Dybbuk is a spiritual squatter. It's a malicious entity from Jewish folklore that clings to the living. It does not haunt items, it quite literally possesses them. Fast forward to 2001, this guy named Kevin Manis is an antique dealer in Oregon, and he's at like a thrift shop, I believe. He finds this wine cabinet. The family says it was their Jewish grandmothers who had survived the Holocaust, and she told them to never open it, and they didn't want it anymore, so he could have it. Kevin decided he was going to open the box even though the family had said not to. He found wax, a goblet, 2 pennies from the 1920s, and hairs. Red flag number 1, he should have shut it and never opened it again, but that's not what Kevin did. Kevin gave it to his mother. His mother had a stroke that same day. Anyone who has ever owned this box reported seeing strange things, having strange nightmares, their electronics dying, smelling weird smells like jasmine or cat piss. Eventually, it ends up in Vegas in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum, because where else do you put a haunted wine bar? And then Post Malone comes around and Zach opens it around Post Malone. That's around the same time that Post Malone's plane malfunctioned, his house caught on fire, his car caught on fire, and he barely survived. Bring back in the Vatican. A Vatican priest allegedly tried to bless the box and passed out mid-blessing. So the Vatican does not want to touch this box now. And mind you, Annabelle and this box are not the only thing the Vatican is keeping tabs on. There's the demon mirror. We'll talk about that later. If you think mirrors are low-key creepy, you are not alone in that fear. Around the world, for thousands of years, people have been terrified of mirrors, not because of how they reflect you, but what might be looking back at you. Have you ever seen a mirror covered after someone passes away? Yeah, it's so that their soul doesn't get trapped in the mirror. Certain religions do that. Feng Shui says never put a mirror at the end of your bed because your soul might get confused while you're asleep and wind up in the mirror. In ancient Greece, they used to use mirrors to contact the dead, and sometimes the dead spoke back. And that brings us to the demon mirror. The mirror so terrifying that the Vatican has to keep it locked underground in the secret archive. The demon mirror is claimed to be carved from obsidian, which is volcanic rock that the Aztecs used to use to summon their god. The gag with the demon mirror is it doesn't summon anything, it shows you your death, or worse, it shows you your shadow self. They say this mirror whispers in Latin, cracks during blessings, and then heals itself overnight. One priest decided he was going to be Billy Badass and stand in front of the mirror alone. He left the room with his eyes bleeding, mumbling, "It knows my name," and he was never the same. The Vatican classifies the demon mirror as a class 3 infernal object, and it's a lead line